Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the monsoon. It's all about the monsoon and not too many words to learn. There are a few important words. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. The first one, jitters. It begins with that word. Jitters goes with everyday English and an important word. Jitters, part of speech noun, meaning feelings of extreme nervousness. If you are under pressure, tension, then we use the word jitters, an important word. Drought, we have got so many times, a prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall leading to a shortage of water. No rains for a long term, dry spell, and a shortage of water. We use the word drought. Vigor, we have got so many times, but today a different meaning: effort, energy, and enthusiasm. In this context, energy, part of speech, noun. Vigorous, that is adjective. Swathe, it goes with land or area, a broad strip or area of something, usually land. Submerge is a verb, cause something to be underwater. Submerge a place, submerge a town, submerge anything for that matter, cause something to be underwater. We come across the expression submerged city, submerged town, or submerged colony. Falter, even this we have got, lose strength or momentum. Something loses strength or momentum, we use the word, we say it has faltered. Part of speech, it's a regular verb. Correlation, noun, a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. If two or more things are connected, then we say correlation. And yes, robust also you have to recollect. Very good. Advent takes a preposition of, advent of something. Part of speech, noun, the arrival of a notable person or thing. In this context, the arrival of the monsoon. Advent of the monsoon. Variance, part of speech, noun, the fact or quality of being different, divergent, or inconsistent. In this context, it is more not consistent, inconsistent. Inherent, an important word, part of speech, adjective, existing in something as a permanent, essential, or characteristic attribute. You should also recollect words like inbuilt, inherent, inbuilt, important, intrinsic, one more word. A linger, we have got this also many a time, part of speech, a verb. It's a regular verb. Stay in a place longer than necessary because of a reluctance to leave. Someone goes to a particular place he's supposed to leave after the work, does not leave. Then we say he has been lingering here for quite some time. Horizon, we have got many a time. The line at which the earth's surface and the sky appear to meet. When you look at the sky away from you and you see at some point you feel the earth and this the earth and the sky, they appear to meet. That line is called horizon. Surge, we have got many a time, again because of the pandemic. Surge could be a verb, could be a noun. In this context, it is a noun. Of a crowd or a natural force, move suddenly and powerfully forward or upward. It also goes with numbers, sudden forward movement, sudden increase, and also usually the typical meaning goes with water, tides. If you take a particular tide, sudden forward movement, we use the word surge. Premise, verb premised, it's a regular verb. Base an argument, theory, or undertaking on something. Then we use this word. Even this we have got, as far as my knowledge goes. Persistence, we have got many a time. Part of speech, noun, the fact of continuing an opinion or course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. In spite of difficulty or opposition, you decide to stay or continue in a particular situation. Persistent, persistence. Converse, part of speech, noun, the opposite. Converse means opposite. Compensate, a familiar word, give someone something, typically money, in recognition of loss, suffering, or injury incurred. When someone incurs some sort of loss, the government tries to compensate. Dampen, damp adjective, dampen is a verb. Means what? Make slightly wet. Damp also means the same, slightly wet. We use the word damp. And damp goes with walls usually, damp walls during the monsoon time. Those are the words, more than 10, but many words I'm sure you guys know. Now let us go to the editorial. How does it start? Monsoon jitters. Jitters usually when you are under tremendous pressure, anxious, worried about something, we use the word jitter. Jitters, noun obviously, feelings of extreme nervousness related to monsoon because India, the backbone of Indian economy is agriculture. A lot of people depend on monsoon, especially the farmers. If something goes wrong with the monsoon, obviously, all the farming community experiences jitters. Based on that, monsoon jitters. What is the main idea of this editorial? Episodes of drought in India happen when monsoon fails in July and August. Usually, this monsoon we call the rainy season. In fact, there are only four seasons: summer, winter, spring, autumn. But we have created the fifth season. Which one is that? A rainy season. But you take American English or British English, only four seasons. We have the fifth season, that is a rainy season, or the onset of monsoon. And this monsoon, usually June first week to it goes till September. The main idea of this editorial, it says episodes of drought. First, you have to know the meaning of the word drought. Drought means what? A prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall. In a way, no rainfall for a long time. We also use the expression dry spell, leading to a shortage of water. Episodes of drought in India happen. When do we experience drought? Or when does it happen? When do they happen? Episodes of drought. When the monsoon fails in July and August. June is not critical. July and August, these 2 months are critical. If monsoon fails that time, that results in drought. That is the main idea of this editorial. The monsoon landed early in Kerala, 3 days ahead of the normal date of June 1st. Whatever you see in red, vocabulary related, whatever you see in violet, phrase related, standard expression, and whatever is in green, that is grammar related. Ahead of something, ahead of the schedule. What is a typical expression? Ahead of the schedule. Here, ahead of the normal date of June 1st. As I said, usually the monsoon is expected in the first week of June, generally June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, but this time it has landed early. The monsoon landed early in Kerala 3 days ahead, 3 days ahead of the normal date of June 1st. It landed in the month of May, last week of May. The journey upward of its western branch has since then been timely but lacking in vigor. Has since then been. This is a bit difficult to understand, but if you guys are good at tenses, especially perfect tenses, you can easily make out this is in present perfect. Has been easy to understand, but has since then been a bit confusing. But you have to tell yourself always when you try to look at the sentence pattern, look at the helping verb and the main verb. Other words are not that important. Here, if you put since then in brackets, has been. He has been a student. She has been something. She has been a doctor. It has been timely. Here we have used the primary auxiliary to be as a main verb, the past participle form. It is present perfect tense, but a bit confusing because we haven't used the regular action verb. In the sentence, you see the primary auxiliary to be in the past participle form. What is 3 days before? This is today's editorial. Only for 1 or 2 days. You will see me tomorrow or day after. Nothing to worry about that. The journey upward of its western branch has since then, and also you have to recollect the difference between since and for. These two prepositions go with present perfect and present perfect continuous. Since is used for specific time and for the time period. Since then, being timely, something positive, but lacking in vigor. Lack means not to have something. Today's editorial, this is today's editorial. Lacking in vigor. Vigor, effort, energy, and enthusiasm. Let me clarify, this is today's editorial. Are you guys aware of that? I always do same day editorial, usually in the morning, but for a change, today it is, I know that you are talking about that. The latest IMD figure means what? Effort, energy, and enthusiasm. The latest IMD figure suggests that the monsoon is running at 8% deficit. Is running. Usually this goes with, if you talk about a particular train, the train is running late. You must have heard of that expression. Here the monsoon is running an 8% deficit, something negative, not positive. Now it talks about, usually we talk about the monsoon, we talk about the south, the north, the west, the east, and the central India, the most important. Central India, which has the largest swathe of land dependent on rain-fed agriculture, means agriculture that depends on rain, the monsoon in this context. Central India, which has the largest swathe of land, swathe, an important word, a broad strip or area, in this context, area of something, area of land. Central India, which has the largest swathe of land dependent on rain-fed agriculture, has only got 52% of the rain that is due. It, all this is statistical data. 52% of the rain that is due. The southern peninsula has a 22% deficit. Here, this is all the justification related to the monsoon is running an 8% deficit. Central India 52% and southern peninsula 22% deficit. Only India's east and northeastern parts are battling the diametrically opposite problem of too much rain, with floods in Assam and Meghalaya submerging entire villages. Now, a contrasting situation. Here, 52% deficit, 22% deficit. On the other hand, only India's east and northeastern parts are battling the diametrically opposite problem. That is also an important expression of too much rain, excess rain, with floods in Assam and Meghalaya submerging entire villages. There is one word over here, submerge, cause something to be underwater. Again, when you think of the word floods, you have to recollect the word inundation. Inundation also means floods. The northwest of India, now it talks about the northwest. The northwest of India, where the monsoon is yet to arrive. Whatever you see in green related to grammar, usually the word yet comes at the end of the sentence. It goes with negative and negative interrogative sentences, especially present perfect. But sometimes there's one expression, yet to come, yet to arrive. That is a standard expression that you have to recollect. Here it is not at the end of the sentence. Where the monsoon is yet to arrive means hasn't arrived yet. Meaning wise, there's no difference. And reeling under a series of heat waves is battling a rainfall deficit of 33%. Only one area it is excess, diametrically opposite, eastern and northeastern parts. But if you take central India, the southern peninsula, and also northwest of India, deficit 33%. Reeling under, another important expression, reeling under means to experience something. Usually it has a negative connotation. Reeling under pressure. The monsoon rainfall is critical to Kharif sowing, and so faltering in June has raised concerns in several quarters. Faltering, first you have to know the meaning of this word. Lose strength or momentum. The monsoon rainfall is critical to Kharif sowing, and so faltering in June has raised concerns in several quarters. Because it has failed in the month of June, it has raised concerns. Again, here you see something in green. Why is it important? There are two verbs that come under confusing verbs. One is rise, rise, rose, risen, an intransitive verb, irregular verb. A raise, raised, raised. A transitive verb, that means it can take an object, and also a regular verb, d or ed. Raise concerns and standard expression, even that you have to remember, has raised concerns in several quarters, means different sectors. However, there is little to be worried about at this juncture. Again, you have to be alert. There's little to be worried about. To be worried about. Not that is not that important, but the word little. You have to recollect little, hardly anything, almost nothing, a little, at least some, the little, whatever is there or specific. However, there's little to be worried about at this juncture. Nothing to worry as such. Already the editorial says July, August, crucial months. June rainfall, particularly in the first fortnight, first 15 days or 2 weeks, is historically patchy, not consistent, and contributes less than 18% of the monsoon rainfall. 18% of the total monsoon rainfall in the month of June, not significant, not substantial. So it doesn't matter much. June rainfall, particularly in the first fortnight, is historically patchy. It is not something new and contributes less than 18% of the monsoon rainfall. Meteorologists maintain that there is no correlation of the timing and advent of the monsoon rainfall with its eventual performance. What time it arrives, that is not that important. There's no correlation. There's one important word. Correlation means a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. You should also know the meaning of the word advent to understand or comprehend this sentence. Advent means arrival. Meteorologists maintain that there is no correlation of the timing and the advent of the monsoon rainfall with its eventual performance. It has nothing to do with eventual performance. When we look at the monsoon, all these months, then we look at the percentage only, then we can say up to the expectations or not up to the expectations. Because of the large variance inherent in June rainfall, the IMD has historically chosen not to issue forecasts for the month, unlike for July and August. June is not that important. Again, reiteration, July and August critical. Keeping that in mind, usually IMD issues forecasts because of the large variance inherent. Variance means the fact or quality of being different, divergent, or inconsistent. Inherent quality means existing in something as a permanent, essential, or characteristic attribute. Intrinsic, inherent. In June rainfall, the IMD has historically chosen not to issue forecasts for the month. Here, the month means the month of June. Unlike for July and August, these two matter a lot. The latter two are here again green. Later, latter. Latter, former, latter. First one, second one. Here, latter means what? July and August. The latter two are considered the key monsoon months. Critical, important, and responsible for supplying nearly two-thirds of the monsoon rains. June only 18%, but July and August two-thirds of the monsoon rain. So these are very important. You may ask, sir, why two-thirds in green? There's a fraction. Then you have to recollect one rule. If the fraction is a subject, then the verb agrees with the noun in the phrase that follows the fraction. Fraction two-thirds. After that, there's a phrase. What is a phrase? Of the monsoon rains. Here there's a noun. The verb agrees with the noun in the phrase that follows the fraction, which is a subject. This is very important. They have given in many competitive exams. If it is rain, singular verb, rains, plural verb. That you have to remember. Recollect. Episodes of drought in India and those that are linked to agricultural failures are when the monsoon fails in these 2 months. Main idea of this editorial: if the monsoon fails in July and August in these 2 months, that results in drought, episodes of drought in India. Already it has been main idea of the editorial. In fact, the real worry that lingers over the horizon is rainfall in July and August. In fact, the real worry, what is the real worry that lingers over? Again, an important expression. Linger means stay in a place longer than necessary because of a reluctance to leave. But here, that bothers. The real worry that bothers that is there on the horizon. Horizon means a line where you feel the earth meets the sky. Is rainfall in July and August? On May 31st, as part of its updated forecast, the IMD gave an optimistic future. I'm sure you guys know the word optimistic. Optimist, a person with a positive attitude, and pessimist, a person with a negative attitude. The June to September rainfall over the country was likely to be 103% of the long period average, and central India was likely to get above normal rainfall, as was the southern peninsula. This is again statistical, something positive. The monsoon core zone, which consists of most of the rainfed agriculture regions, too is expected to receive above normal rain. So something positive. Prediction is positive. In previous years, there has been a pattern of normal and above normal rains being forecast only for them to dry up for large periods in July and August. In spite of the prediction, they dried up, followed by a sudden surge in September. This talks about what happened in the past. In previous years, there has been a pattern of normal and above normal rains being forecast. Forecast says normal and above normal in the months of July and August, only for them to dry up for large periods in July and August, followed by a sudden surge in September. July, August, not based on the forecast, but sudden surge in September. There's one important word, surge. What does it mean? Sudden forward movement or upward movement. Usually it goes with numbers, cases, group of people, tides, all these. This pattern may help deliver the numbers but is not always beneficial for Kharif sowing. Forecast is very important. Based on that, the farmers can decide what to go in for. This pattern may help deliver the numbers but is not always beneficial for Kharif sowing. The expectations of a good monsoon are premised on the persistence of. Here there are two words. Premised means what? Based on argument, theory, or undertaking on something. On the persistence, again the word persistence, the fact of continuing in an opinion or course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition, of a La Nina, the converse of the El Nino. Here, converse means the opposite, and characterized by a cooling of the Central Pacific waters. How does the editorial end? However, there is one more. However, the Indian Ocean Dipole (IOD), another index of significance to the monsoon, is expected to be negative, not positive, negative. Whether the La Nina can compensate for the dampening of the IOD remains to be seen. Means we have to wait and watch. There are two words over here: compensate. Give someone something, typically money, in recognition of loss, suffering, or injury incurred. And dampen is a verb. Damp is an adjective. Meaning wise, no difference. Dampen means what? Make slightly wet. Damp also means make slightly wet, damp walls. So it ends on that particular note. We have to wait and see what is going to happen. Remains to be seen. Dampening of the IOD remains to be seen. That's all about the editorial. Now let us go to today. For the first time, I have brought the answers, not for the first question, other questions, because this you guys have to write in your own sentences. That will help in the long run. What is this editorial about? When do episodes of drought happen in India? Episodes of drought, what are the key words? Episodes of drought happen. Based on that, if you navigate, you come across episodes of drought in India happen when the monsoon fails in July and August. This is the answer. Which area is reeling under a series of heat waves? Answer for that, it talks about a particular area. The northwest of India, where the monsoon is yet to arrive, is reeling under a series of heat waves. Again, the key words. Which area is reeling under a series of heat waves? Dampening is not noun, it is a verb. Dampen. It can be a noun. Any verb in ing form, any verb in past participle form can be used as a noun, can be used as an adjective. What do meteorologists maintain in the context of the editorial? What are the key words over here? Meteorologists maintain. Meteorologists maintain that there is no correlation of the timing and advent of the monsoon rainfall with its eventual performance. Clearly mentioned. What is a real worry that lingers over the horizon? Keywords. I'm underlining the keywords. The real worry that lingers over the horizon is rainfall in July and August. That matters. Consolidate your grammar based on editorial grammar. This is again very important. It has since then been, usually we say, it has been, so far so good. He has been, they have been, the company has been. Why is this a little confusing and a little tricky? Usually the word since, the preposition comes after the verb, the helping verb and the main verb. But here it has been placed between the helping verb and the main verb. We have used the primary auxiliary to be as a main verb, past participle form. And also, since then, it's a phrase. Since Monday, since yesterday, since then. So that way it is a little confusing. It has since then been timely. But always remember, when you want to identify the tense, focus on the verb. If there are two verbs, focus only on the verbs has been. Then you know for sure it is present perfect. The monsoon is running, present continuous tense. But why is this important? The train is running late. I wanted you guys to learn that expression. Is running an 8% deficit. June has raised concerns, a standard expression, present perfect tense. You should also recollect the confusing verbs rise and raise. Generally, yet, what is this tell about yet? It is going to come. Please wait. Raised concerns, raised standards, typical expressions. However, there is little to be worried about. Little, a little, the little. Few, a few, the few. You have to immediately recollect little or few, hardly anything, almost nothing. A little, at least some, a few, at least some. The little, the few, whatever is there, or something very specific. The monsoon is yet to arrive. For this idea, you can say the monsoon hasn't arrived yet. You can also say the monsoon is yet to arrive. Both mean the same. If I say the monsoon hasn't arrived yet, present perfect regular pattern and the word yet at the end of the sentence. But this goes more with conversational style. It can go with written English as well. It has been used in the editorial. The monsoon is yet to arrive. Meaning wise, there is no difference. Same meaning. Hasn't arrived yet. But pattern is different. In English, we have a lot of patterns. To express one idea, you can use a variety of patterns. That is the writer's personal choice. This again very important. This is again very important. You have to recollect later. Later goes with time. But here double T, latter, goes with position. Former, first in position, latter, latter, second in position. So this is again very confusing under pressure. One goes with time, the other, this one goes with position, this one goes with time. That you should recollect. Two-thirds, there's an important rule. If the subject is a fraction, two-thirds is a fraction, usually there is a phrase. Then what is the rule you are supposed to recollect? If the subject is a fraction, the verb agrees with the noun in the phrase that follows the fraction. Here, two-thirds fraction. Then a phrase has followed. What is a phrase? Of the monsoon rains. In this phrase, there is a noun. The verb agrees with that particular noun. That is very important. This has been given once in SBI, but here it looks very easy. If the context is unfamiliar, then it becomes a problem. The monsoon core zone, which consists of, here you have to recollect a particular rule. What is that rule? Consists takes, the word consist takes the preposition of, but imagine the word is comprise. Can we use the word, the preposition of? Comprise of, is it right or wrong? It comprises of, not correct. Consist of is correct, but comprise of is not correct. That you have to recollect. Dampening of the IOD remains to be seen. Remains, something remains to be seen. It is in passive voice. These are grammar point of view. Now let us go to vocabulary. Enrich your word power based on editorial vocabulary. It is your time. Now you have to respond. Jitters. Please write the part of speech and the meaning. Jitters, part of speech, noun. And what does it mean? Feelings of extreme nervousness. Answer is H. Very good. Drought, again part of speech, noun. Dry spell, you can say. Prolonged period of low rain resulting in shortage of water. Dry spell, even that you have to recollect. Answer is J. Vigor, vigorous noun. Vigor, a vigorous adjective. Vigor noun means what? Effort, energy, and enthusiasm. In this context, energy. Answer is A. Sweat, an important word you have to remember. No, no exercise questions, only the editorial. Meaning, broad strip or area of usually land. Submerge, it's a regular verb. Cause something to be underwater. Inundation, floods, related words you have to recollect. G is the answer. Falter, verb, a regular verb. Lose, strength or momentum. I is the answer. Advent of, arrival of, it's noun. Thanks for not bringing, or thanks for answering your question. Thanks for what? For not bringing the practice questions. Advent, arrival of a notable person or thing. In this context, arrival of the monsoon. Inherent quality, feature, characteristic feature. Inherent, part of speech, adjective. Inbuilt, intrinsic. Yes, of course. Why today? Why do you ask those questions? One day I do something different. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do it every day. The regular pattern will be followed. Inherent means what? Existing as a permanent attribute. Then it's okay. Linger, it's a verb. Linger over, phrasal verb. Yes, yes. Tomorrow you will be having. What does it mean? Linger. Stay in a place longer than. Don't linger. Loiter also we use, but that meaning is different. Horizon, part of speech, noun. What are you left with? The line at which the earth's surface meets the sky. So, answer is F. That's all for today. Thanks for joining. Though I have changed the time only for today. Tomorrow morning, you're going to have the session at 7 to 8, a regular pattern, editorial analysis, practice questions based on exam topics. A regular pattern will be continued. I hope it's clear. That's all. Have a nice, I don't want to say have a nice day, the usual thing, but thank you very much. And do remember to subscribe and share. Join, those who haven't joined, join the Telegram group. After the session, go to the description of the video and click on the link. After that, you don't have to do anything. Thank you.